Okay, perfect. So, welcome to the monthly call. I'm really excited to start sharing ideas around how we can really gauge if our healthy diet is truly healthy. Because anytime, this is the most common thing I get to talk about when someone tells me about their diet. I always ask, tell me about your diet. I always get I eat pretty healthy. But when we talk about eating pretty healthy, unless we actually monitor it, write it down, track it, gauge it, whatever, we sometimes don't know exactly how pretty healthy it is. So we're just going to chat about a few things to bring them to the forefront of our mind that maybe our pretty healthy diet might not be as on track as we think, or we might actually be consuming more food than originally planned out for the day because we're licking spoons or we're grabbing quick snacks or all of those things. Hello, Jody.
Hello, I'm so sorry. I had some computer problems, but I am here now.
I was just telling Michelle about those. So, Michelle, this is Jody, Michelle, and she's on lunch. So, busy.
Hello.
Hi,
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too.
So, Jody, I was just kind of starting off about how we say we eat pretty healthy, but
Mm.
we aren't actually gauging what pretty healthy looks like. And so sometimes pretty is actually not as pretty. That's got some ugly sides to it. So we're just going to dive into that. And we were going to talk about tracking our food for 3 days. Now, everyone knows I am kind of anti calorie counting. Like, I don't have the watch that tracks anything. I'm not wearing a tracker, or I've erased or deleted all the apps off of my phone because I don't want to have to track calories to stay healthy when I'm older. Like, I can't imagine being 85 entering my brand muffin. I don't want to do any of that. So I decided early on that I was going to develop a lifestyle around not tracking. However, without tracking, we truly don't know where we stand in our healthy diet. So Jody and I thought over the next 3 days, if you just wrote down what you eat, everything, like if you lick a spoon, if you put creamer in your coffee, if you have a Diet Coke in the afternoon, if you drink your happy juice, if you eat a chicken breast, just write it down so you can truly gauge what your intake of food looks like throughout the day and then what healthy actually looks like. And it may not be just 3 days, because I'm sure if I ask you to track it for the next 3 days, you're going to try and be what is considered good, even though there are no good or bads here. Maybe track it for 6 days or 7 days, or definitely track it over a weekend, because that tends to be when people incorporate different kinds of foods into their diet. And tracking includes drinks, alcohol, like the creamer and the coffee, any Cokes or soda. It's literally everything that you're consuming. And the goal is always not to track necessarily how much food you're eating, but it is to make sure that you're hitting protein, carbs, and fats. And we strongly encourage 4 to 5 servings of protein a day. So when we look at protein, we're looking at that 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per your ideal body weight. So I like to use simple numbers because I can do simple math. So if you wanted to weigh 100 pounds, I'm not suggesting that, you would need 80 grams to 100 grams of protein. If you're 200 pounds and you want to weigh 160 pounds, then you're going to need 140. See, now I'm guessing 140 to 160 grams of protein. So that's kind of where you want to gauge, is multiply your ideal body weight by 0.8. So 0.8 to 1 gram of protein a day. And unless you measure it, you literally have no idea how close you're getting. And protein is something we think we eat enough of, and most of us are missing it, not just by 10 or 15 grams, but by 50, 60 grams.
Yeah.
Because we have no idea how many grams are in a chicken breast, or, I mean, unless it says 9 grams on the protein shake, we're literally unsure. So track your protein. Carbs is 1 to 2 carbs a day. Our body doesn't actually need a ton of carbs. And then fats, 5 to 6. So if you think about portion size, what is it? A thumb, or like this much is a fat. So this much is considered a serving of fat. So like a tablespoon of butter is one fat. Part of an avocado would be another fat. So this much. Your palm is just the palm is your protein. And then I don't remember what the carb is, Jody. Do you?
I think it's a fistful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not very much. And
Yeah.
so typically I go by cups. So a carb is typically a half a cup to a cup. Like if you think in that way. So like a half a cup of rice, or a half a cup of potato, or a half a potato. So that kind of gives you an idea of where you're looking at as far as tracking. What do you have to add, Jody?
Yeah, I think if weight loss is one of the things that you're truly looking at, you have to, kind of see where you are. And I remember starting out on this journey, it was just like I had to figure out, okay, maybe I'm adding stuff to my food and I've got some hidden calories that I didn't know of. And so, those extra couple of tablespoons of butter or something like that added extra calories that I didn't know of. I too try not to track anything, but the 3-day thing also looks to see if you're under eating. So a lot of times people are overeating, but a lot of times you're weight under eating, and under eating can cause just as many problems as overeating. It can cause more stress on your body, mess up your hormones more. It can cause you to hang on to weight that should be lost, cause a lot of inflammation. You'll get exhausted and tired. You won't sleep well. So you can have too many carbs, but you can have too little of carbs. And especially if you're going through any kind of hormone imbalance, those carbs help you sleep, help you have more energy, right now energy. So just trying to figure out like what you actually do. And then once you know what you do, you can start like really listening to your body and saying, how do I feel? And that's where we go into the anti-inflammatory diet. How do we feel through all of this? So it's kind of like, instead of like going in and trying to force your body to lose weight and trying to force your body to go on a restrictive diet, or trying to force your body to do a whole bunch of exercise, you're really trying to maintain a mental wellness around this, your gut health, all of this kind of stuff, so that you can take steps to eventually, that's just your lifestyle. You do what makes you feel good. Some people think that if you don't have a restrictive eating, that you're just going to eat pizza all the time, but actually that's not true. The thought of like having pizza a couple of nights might be okay, but time you get through a week worth, I don't think you'd ever want to eat pizza again, that kind of thing. So, it not only is it physical things of like what we're trying to eat, but it's also that mental part that goes into it that I think it's real important in losing weight and balancing your hormones.
Yeah, perfectly said. I completely agree. And if you do track it for 3 days and you just need another set of eyes on it to help you make some tweaks or whatever, then send it to one of us and we'll happily look at it and help you make those tweaks. Okay, so the last half of this is going to be geared towards our mindset around what we think is possible, and even maybe breaking through some limiting beliefs and writing out just a few affirmations that are authentic and true and completely believable. So your subconscious is like, oh yeah, I'm game for that. Instead of saying something like, I'm going to lose 60 pounds in the next 30 days. And in the back of your mind, you're just like, that's not going to happen. But you wrote it down, because that's what we do with affirmations. We write them down, we say them, but unless we truly believe them, they're pretty much ineffective. So to do that, we're going to do just a quick activity. I want you to think of 2 people you really admire. And they can be anyone. They can be famous people. They can be your friends, your family, whoever. But write down 2 people that you just absolutely adore. And then under those 2 people, write, 5 to 7 characteristics about them as to why you admire them. And they can be personality things. They can be success habits that they do. Whatever that is, you're going to make 2 lists, one for each person, and write down why you admire the things you admire about them. And just take a second to do that. So I want you, for those that are watching the recording, just go ahead and pause it and write down your list. And then we're going to come back and keep moving forward. That way there's not this weird pause in the video. So now that you've written down those characteristics of the people you admire, it's considered a mirror activity. So if you recognize a quality in someone else, then you too have that quality. So if you admire that they're confident and that they care about their health and they're punctual, they're happy, they're go-getters, whatever you wrote down, that quality already exists in you. And so our goal is to bring out that greatness even more through affirmations. Jody, you want to take affirmations and how we can write authentic ones?
Sure. So affirmations can actually cause some damage if you don't have one that's authentic to you. So how do you know if an affirmation is authentic to you? And one of the reasons how I can describe it is if it has a tail, like Amy was talking about. So if you say something, my body is super healthy and I'm the exact weight that I want to be. And all of a sudden a thought comes afterwards, hey, you've tried everything. Why do you think this is going to work? And if it has some kind of tail to it, that is actually something that is a limiting belief of yours. So if that doesn't feel authentic and it has that tail wrapped around the back, you can do a I am statement or a affirmation that maybe shows you progressing. I may not like the way my body looks now, but I know I'll like it how it's going to look in the future. Or I know my body is making its way to this amount of weight. So it's something that you can believe that can happen and that doesn't have that tail at the end. It's very important. So if you find a characteristic of somebody, just as Amy was talking about, somebody that may be outgoing and you wish you were outgoing or something. I know that has nothing to do with weight loss or hormones or whatever. But if just say, I wish I was outgoing or something like that, and you have the tail end of it, oh, you'll never be that type of person. Then you might use an affirmation as I'm working my way to being a wonderfully outgoing person, and that you can believe. And until you get to the point where that becomes very natural, then we can kind of twist it because you're turning around that limiting belief that you have. So if you come into taking supplements or coming into looking to losing weight and whatever, and you say, oh, nothing's never worked before, so this is not going to work for me, I don't even know why I'm trying this, it's a huge limiting belief that you have about yourself. But you say, I'm taking these supplements and working through let's see, I'm taking these supplements and I know they work and I know they'll eventually work for me, or I know they'll work for me, or I'm on this diet or I'm on this journey. I know this is going to work for me as I take the steps to do it. So something that we can like really grab onto and really believe without having that tail come in. And that tail that comes in is that limiting belief, which we can work through. You can work through those limiting beliefs and changing your thoughts and how to do that. That's for another video, but we can change those limiting beliefs. But we really just want to find those affirmations that really stick and we can really feel it and believe it and go from there. So hope I didn't confuse you.
I love it. I've never thought of the end, that like extra little belief. You called it a tail. And that's so true. It's a really great visualization. But I remember in business, when I first started in business, I heard someone say, well, tell yourself you're a millionaire. And I almost laughed. Like I was making no money. I just started a day ago or whatever. And they're just like, you've got to tell yourself you're a millionaire. And so when I would say it, I would kind of go like, yeah, I'm not. But could I say like, I'm working my way up to being debt free? That was totally believable.
Right.
So that makes a lot of sense. And how we can apply this with maybe the supplements that you're taking and you're hoping they're working or you're wanting them to work faster. Think of it like I'm healing my body, or I'm going on a healing journey, or I'm fixing the root cause. It all comes back down to our mindset and our core beliefs. And when we train our brain to be in a going places, a fixing way, it starts to believe it.
Yeah.
But I love the tail thing. So I'll pay attention to that too when I write affirmations. I'm always
Yeah.
writing affirmations.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
write them down, stick them in a place that you know, and then take your list of the 2 people that you wrote all these amazing characteristics of, and be sure to send them a message and just say, hey, I thought of you today and I admire you, and give them all the stuff, because you will totally make their day.
Mm.
All right. I'm going to pause the recording and then open it up for questions.